Welcome, dear viewers, to a new episode of The Prominent One, where we shed the lights on very great women with their great achievements and, of course, their glorious moments. But before we head to know more about today's guest, let me welcome with me my elite and compassionate woman, Emel.
Hello, Hiba, and thank you for this wonderful introduction. And you know, the prominent ones are really the ones that we are proud of their achievements. We are so proud of their careers and all of those journeys that they gone through, and sharing their stories is one of the things that we mostly love. And especially in our episodes, we've got them to share their stories so we can be inspired from them. So Hiba, today we have a very special guest who is going to talk to us about her journey.
Yes, indeed. So hopefully everyone is really excited, and of course we're going to continue after this break.
And we're back with you, dear viewers, in The Prominent Ones. And with us today, Dr. Fatema Almosawi, who is going to tell us all about her story and her journey. And that is an astonishing journey. I always love hearing it from her. Thank you for joining us today in The Prominent Ones, Dr. Fatema.
Thank you for having me, and it's always a pleasure.
Dr. Fatema, can you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself?
Okay, Dr. Fatema Almosawi, behavioral geneticist, and also I'm a social entrepreneur. I love working with talent and developing talent, and at the moment I had KAFO, which is a national platform to help people search, connect with, and collaborate with achievers in Kuwait.
So really happy to have you here, and of course I'm very sure everyone is really excited to know more about you. So having that said, it's very important for everyone to have more vision about themselves and choose the career that they really feel passionate about. So when it comes into you, Dr. Fatema, do tell us more about why did you choose this career? Like, was there a story behind you choosing the field itself?
So I have a very different, maybe non-traditional journey.
Yeah.
But actually it started with the 9th grade. So I saw a video in our biology class talking about how scientists manipulated genes of bacteria to produce insulin. Okay, and then I decided I want to become a geneticist on that point.
Wow.
From year 9 until I went to university, anyone who asked me, I'm like a geneticist, and that's it. Like, that's what I thought about.
Amazing.
Then after the first degree, I went on to study I did a master's in human molecular genetics, because I was more interested in the medical field and how can we help humanity through science. Okay. After that, I straight away got into another master's into bioinformatics, and it's a very interdisciplinary field. It has a bit of coding, a bit of data science, and also the genetics that I relied on. Then I came to Kuwait, and when I came to Kuwait, I felt already I had compiled lots of knowledge. I lived abroad for a long time. At that stage, it was 11 years living abroad. So I wanted to give and participate in community service. And this is when I had another journey, okay? But it ties into what I studied. So while I was forming my volunteer team, and now it's a non-profit, I continued my education. And then I did a PhD in genetics and focusing on intellectual disabilities. Then I got, after that, a master's in behavioral science. So like the journey is like, it might not seem connected, but it's very much is, especially that I'm interested in behavior and intelligence, and anything that's to do with behavior. It's not only from your genetic background, it comes also from the environment. So it really helped me shape the initiatives that I was working on, how we do the interactions, social interactions, attracting volunteers and retaining them, and motivating people. Like, these are all things that I understood on different fronts. And maybe like there was no career plan at the moment, like although like I knew geneticist, but the job didn't match what I studied and my passion. So sometimes you have to reinvent yourself and also invent your career and your job. So at the moment I run a social enterprise, and also KAFO was one of the products that I worked on throughout the years. So I say, like, with your knowledge you can always create a new position and understand what's the gap in the market, what is required, and not be like afraid to venture and discover what you can come up with.
Amazing, yeah.
Amazing journey and amazing inspiration, if we can say that. And this is the essence of the prominent ones, Dr. Fatema. We know that what you said, from 9th grade or 9 years old, let's say it was in the 4th or 5th grade, if I can say.
No, the 9th grade.
9th grade,
Yeah.
okay, so 9th grade and
14, 15.
14,
So, yeah.
15. So from that age, you got your goal in front of you and you
And it was
pursued
from a video. That's why lots of
Yes.
times I tell people, you might find inspiration in anything, you know, like
Around
even going to certain events, when you see people in certain careers,
Yes.
this is like things that you can envision and think, okay, I want to work in that. And this is when it kind of helps you to pursue that passion and understand it.
So how about volunteering? Where did you get the passion for volunteering?
Like since we are young, we were used to the idea of giving. I think
Yes.
my parents, my cousins, I have lots of cousins who I tell them I learned giving from you.
Okay.
So it's something that was in us. I didn't really
Yeah.
think about it. I feel it's part of my DNA.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
true.
Yeah. And also like growing up in the UK,
Yes.
we're used to the importance of having charity work, and lots of the research is funded by charity.
Yes.
So it's a very important part of society. And this is maybe part of the background that I came with.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I saw a lot of Kuwaitis wanting to give. I just thought maybe people didn't know how to connect to the opportunities. And this is why I started a volunteer team to connect people. So
Indeed.
already lots of charities, lots of societies, they need volunteers and they didn't know how to find them. And that was my main role.
Well, I know that the first team, I think it was volunteers, as you said it, the name of the maybe the volunteering team, volunteers, aspires a lot of people to come there. And I remember once I was like really going through the volunteering phase,
Yeah.
and I registered with Dr. Fatema, and I love the spirit of volunteering and connecting together.
Yes, yes, you learn a lot. Like this is how I developed my Arabic, by the way, because when I came back, I did
Okay.
not speak Arabic. And
Yeah.
because I had to communicate with volunteers, I tell them, if you want to give time, you're going to be organized. If you're going to want to give money, you have to earn.
Yes.
And if you want to give knowledge, you have to learn. So it really helps you before anyone else, and I think it's an important thing to promote in society.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
definitely, yes.
I totally agree with you on that. So going back to the field, choosing the genetic field itself, I mean, they always say it's really complicated, it needs you to be very focused and you need to be very precise. And I think it really matches, especially when we're talking more about women, and women are really into specific details and nothing could, let's say, leave any, let's say, mark when it comes into, let's say, not noticing what's happening. So is it really true when it comes into the field that it is a field that it needs more, let's say, people to be, let's say, more concerned and more, let's say, precise when it comes into dealing with the field itself? Or this is something, let's say, by judging the book by its cover, that since it's genetic, that means you're into deep, let's say, thoughts?
I think sometimes how people perceive a subject determines how hard they find it or how easy. It's like lots of people, they would say, I don't know maths, and they will stop thinking about it, for example, you know.
Yeah.
But maths is not that hard, okay? Maybe it depended on the teacher who introduced it, or so many different things. For me, genetics felt very natural. So I didn't find it difficult at all. That's why I was getting more than one certificate, and I got excited each time. I was very, like, I'm still very into genetics, okay, but maybe now I'm dealing with the behavior more than the genes, but I'm always fascinated by that knowledge and the thoughts around it. And I was lucky to be at top universities, interacting with one of my professors was a Nobel Prize winner who discovered the structure of DNA. So things like that really inspires you and excites you about the field. So I didn't find it difficult at all. Like for me, it was very simple and suited my
Simple
thinking.
math, let's say, as you just
Yes,
said.
yes. I love maths in general, so I didn't find it difficult. And again, like different people find different things appealing or interesting, or but I always say study something that you love, because then whatever the subject or like the topic that comes up, you can push yourself knowing that you are excited about the topic and wanting to know the details. So for me, it suited me very well. And I feel I also manage like a geneticist. I tell them, like, my knowledge in genetics, I apply it in management. So how cells communicate, how things work, like I use a lot of
like what I studied, I can, let's say, connect it to real life. And so, but what I really like about you is like for instance, when it comes into having thoughts and ideas, we always use a mind map, you know, to organize
Indeed.
our stuff, to let's say come up with different kind of solutions. And you remind me of that, like your path in life is actually like a mind map, that where you go through and where you, let's say, emphasize on things and always find, for instance, a solution. And also when it comes into, like, once we use for instance Google Map, there's always, if there's a busy, let's say, tunnel or something, a traffic, it's always routing. So this is what comes into your life, that you were actually always on a path where you actually could change and could develop in something very let's say precise and great in that matter.
I think innovation is key, and also adaptability.
Right.
So knowing how to adapt to the situation and how to apply the knowledge. I'm an avid learner. I would like study, like still I have an eye on 2 masters.
Okay.
But like, yeah, because I like, not for the job, but for the joy of studying.
Yes.
And being connected and updated.
Yes.
And I think this is important in any field. People have to be updated. If you rely on something you learned too many years ago, then it's not going to apply in today's world. And there are different things. So I think this is key. And knowing how to apply and innovate with that knowledge.
Indeed.
So if you have a new situation, not kind of having the blocks or separating the subject, everything relates, and thinking, how can I borrow from this thought and applying to something that I can live with.
This is really a great mindset, Dr. Fatema, because what are you saying? That there are no obstacles, only things that you put in front of you, and you can really get over them by just connecting each and every dot in your lives together. So by that you can overcome those, let's say, mountains that you think that they are in front of you and exist in front of you, but there are no mountains. It's just
it's not an easy road, though.
It is.
I'm not gonna
I
make
know.
it like pinky and like, you know.
But you struggled during.
Yeah,
yes.
of course. Okay, but you have to fail in order to learn.
That's true.
Like trying to avoid is something that I tell people, it's not going to help you grow.
Okay.
So being open to failures, disappointment, it's all part of the formula and the journey. Okay, and accepting that gives you better resilience, and you can go on for like so knowing you can go into something with risks, I think is something beautiful that you have to learn how to manage and not expect a perfect formula throughout, you know. But each time you're adding something new to you, and you're building, and then there comes a time when things feel so easy after that. So but it's worth that initial struggle, and also to know when you have to pivot or change paths. Like not just having to stick to something. Like at the beginning, I thought I'm gonna do cancer research and save the world from cancer or whatever, but then the path was kind of drawn to me by the opportunities. So I got to work on intelligence, and I thought, why, you know? But then I realized how it really connects with my volunteer work and the other thing, and then that led me to behavioral science. So maybe when I was in year 9, I didn't know I would specialize in this field and go this far. But throughout life, I got the different opportunities that shaped the direction.
So during the journey, you got that knowledge.
Yes.
Dr. Fatema, it is really great to listen to your journey, and it's so exciting. But we are going to have a quick break, then continue the prominent ones.
And we are back, dear viewers, to continue with our guest, Dr. Fatema Almosawi. So one of the things, of course, that we emphasize is to always choose something that you love. And if you love something, you are going to accomplish many great achievements, many great obstacles. You will see them as something that you can actually, let's say, go over. So we've heard, as you just said, talking more about KAFO platform, and I'm very sure the audience would like to know more in specific details about it. So maybe you'd like to elaborate more on it.
Okay. So KAFO started as a recommendation, actually, after the National Youth Project, to have a platform or a database for achievers in Kuwait. Okay. And I got the opportunity to translate that recommendation into a project. So we set up a website and an app as well. And we were engaging with lots of the achievers in Kuwait, trying to understand them and get to know their needs, and facilitate through different events for them to meet and collaborate and to showcase them as well. Now KAFO is a registered non-profit organization. Okay, so we're happy with this step. So we institutionalized something that was just an idea, and it's just an initiative after having worked through it for several years, around 5. Okay, now it's an established entity, and we relaunched it as under this umbrella. So December, as I mentioned before we were recording, that it's going to be the next forum, and we're very excited about it. And we have 6 networks that we're trying to collect and connect the achievers under. So at the moment, it's going to be a website, like a temporary one for this year, just until we launch the new version of the website and the app. And the networks are in arts and culture, entrepreneurship, business entrepreneurship, science and tech, health and wellness, sports and entertainment, and sustainability. These are the topics that we think are very popular.
Yes.
And also we want to get people to exchange knowledge through them. So we'll have a calendar long of activities and opportunities to identify talent in those areas and get them to work closely together on initiatives. It could be a startup, it could be a policy that they can recommend, or it could be a social initiative. We'll leave it up to them. But for us, it's just facilitating them to meet and get to know about each other, because lots of people have amazing degrees. We have amazing talents in Kuwait, but not everyone knows about each other, or sometimes they don't have the time outside of work, like just to kind of make those arrangements is a hassle sometimes. But we have excellent minds, excellent potentials as well, people who just lack the opportunity. So we would like to match talent with opportunity.
So you started KAFO by matching as well the talented people with the, let's say, the young generation, the youth, that they don't know what to do or how to start. And now you are really joining the achievers and the ones that have a patent, or they have something under the belt, if that can we say. So who can really now apply, if we can say?
So once we launch the website, anyone can apply and send their information, okay? Then we're gonna have different layers and different levels, so people can log their achievements. And then based on them being achievers, then we will give them the title of KAFO. First, it will be a journey for candidates, okay? So people have potential, and we'll see. If someone wins an award, then they will jump up like ahead.
That's true.
So it depends on their achievements and how they go further. It's going to have a subscription model, okay, just to sustain the whole operation and to keep it going. But at the same time, we'll have lots of free events as well, and opportunities to showcase and help people.
This is important, to have the NGOs to give back to the society and gain from the society the knowledge, Hiba.
Yes, indeed. And I do believe that we really do need such a platform, because we're really busy in our life, and we really always begin with a very great passion when it comes into dealing with our work, with our dreams, and we want to accomplish many things. But then we get really busy and having hectic lifestyle, hectic, let's say, work itself. Therefore, we tend to lose this kind of, let's say, sense of passion, and we just get used to the work system. So I do believe that this platform is a way of, let's say, escape, even for the employee themselves, to have an opportunity of my own mindset, of my own,
it's that community sense, and having people that have similar thinking, that you don't necessarily bump into them on daily basis.
Which is something very important. We do need that kind of, let's say, workspace, or let's say that kind of community space where, we get to have these great connections. So having that said, I'm very sure when it comes into talking more about the platform and presenting it on, let's say, within the 5 years that you've been working on, so many people, and especially in the fields that are really into trying to present themselves, want to, let's say, apply, or you had, let's say, for instance, that kind of, let's say, incident and story talking about it. So maybe you'd like to share with us some kind of the experience when it comes into the candidates that participated in KAFO so far.
So at the moment, we're reconnecting with people that had success stories with us before, and we're using them as the first batch, before the website is even out, because we already know the achievements. And if you follow the account, you can hear their story. They're saying even how they got to benefit from KAFO itself. So this will inspire people to understand more about KAFO, and like in practice, not in kind of just a theoretical way. The other thing we did this year was as part of World Cleanup Day. It's an initiative that is global, and it happens every year. I got the honor this year to be the country leader, for that. So again, we utilize the power of the network to demonstrate how we can achieve more. And we got to do the activity in 6 governors at the same time, on the same day, and get the governors involved as well. And that, I thought that was something amazing. And we had more than 50 entities join in. So this is the power of a network that we want
it's
to
really
continue.
difficult. I mean, talking about the governance,
yes, at the same time.
I'm very thankful to them because they were very supportive, and this is an example of a collaborative work.
Yes.
I hope to see it in different fields as well, like we can do in technology, in health, like the different initiatives that can ripple across Kuwait and have an impact. And through it, we get to identify and understand some talents that we didn't know about. Like I found out about guys that were planting certain like type of trees that I didn't hear about before. So like, you know, throughout these events, even if it's a one-day volunteering experience, sometimes you discover lots of great people and great minds and lots of efforts that are done. And we would love to showcase them and get them involved with us.
Well, that's so amazing, and congratulations on that. Really, the title, it's not a strange about you, Dr. Fatema. And I know that planning such events is not really an easy task.
Not at all.
It needs a lot of concentration as well as a great team. Can you share with us a little bit of the team that you have?
Yes, I love my team and anyone who I work with. And the thing is that per project, like I have lots of volunteers and interns you've seen, and it's always a pleasure. I'll tell them it's not a one-man show. I'm able to reach this because of the people across the years that have inspired, that took part, that coordinated, that helped in everything. So throughout, I always open the door for interns. So internship is something important, allowing young people to learn, and volunteers as well. And my recruitment process and getting people involved is like through that path. So they intern, then they become part-timers and sometimes full-timers in the team. So like I've seen them from the beginning, and some of them grow, and some of them also, like I'm happy to prepare them for future opportunities. So even people that have, the first thing I do with people, ask them, what's your ambition? So if I understand what they want, I'll try to get them closer. So what I identify the skills that they can practice during those projects, and then get them to develop them so it will match their future plan. And by that, I think I get the passion harnessed, and I get like that kind of collaborative, because it's about everyone thinking about their future as well as the collective efforts.
So it's not a one-man's job. It's something that they would reflect in their life in the future. It's not just me, it's the community that I'm working with and for at the same time.
And my dream is like for everything that I'm doing to continue without me even being around, you know? So you need to have a clear vision and have people that believe in it.
So a project to grow, and that would be your own, let's say, child in front of you growing up, and then you would let him go here and there without even supervising.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Dr. Fatema is doing a really great, especially when it comes into her field. I mean, she's choosing the correct gene in each, let's say.
I'm not going to claim I know, but
this is the dominant gene where you have to be there. So having that is something very great. So you're giving it that kind of great support for your team, for everyone who's participating in the platform itself. Therefore, we would like to know more about you, about the support that you get, especially when it comes to such heavy, great work that you are in and delving in. That means that you are having, let's say, more of the backbone that helps you on going when it comes into achieving your dreams.
I would say my children are my inspiration. Okay.
Yes.
They keep me going. I want to be a better mom for them and a role model. Lots of times I think I wouldn't be able to preach anything if I can't do it. So I always try to exceed and allow them like to see me through that journey. At the same time, I tell them I have no high expectations. It's up to you how you, like they don't have to prove themselves to me. And I think that's very important. So that relation, I think, really helped me. Also, my mom, like she got to study while we were grown-ups. Like it wasn't that like she went back to studies. So I think that's partly in me, and of course, and like my team, I really love my team and the different projects that I work with, and for me, they're family as well. So when I spend time with them, I spend it with joy, and I think this is something important. And as well, like I have my own space in terms of the learning. I love reading and writing and getting involved in that and having my own time to recharge.
Yeah.
I tell people
Yes.
I'm an introvert, by the way. I'd rather sit and read a book.
Yeah. Most of us
I
are
think
like
what
that.
she's doing doesn't explain
What
how
I do- yeah,
introverted
exactly,
she is.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
She's
why
partially
I
introverted.
have to recharge. Like I tell
Yes.
them, I have to.
Yeah, this is what introverts are. You work with others, you go out there, and then you have that time for yourself. So just to recharge and fill your batteries, if you can say that.
Religiously, Friday is my home day.
Okay,
I
yeah.
get upset if people call me.
I
this
can
is
relate to
it.
that.
Yes.
Noted.
Yeah, all of us. we
Yeah,
can
I
relate
sort
to that.
everything.
Yes.
Like I think of just the home, you know. Like
Yeah. Yeah, the weekend is sacred, as we
Yeah,
can say it all
yes.
the time. The weekend is sacred. You can have it for yourself because you recharge so you can start and tackle life from the
Yes.
beginnings.
Yes.
Dr. Fatema, it was really a great journey that you took us with you through that, and we've got inspired by you. A great thanks for you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me always.
So, of course, dear viewers, we're going to continue, but after this break, so stay tuned with us.